welcome to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. Got a bit of a sore throat going on today, but that's a good thing. There's always something better on the other side of everything. Today we got a special guest. Kathy Avery's coming in, and she's everybody's familiar with the name Hospice and the different things they do in Miramichi, and your special chapter of that you take care of, Vondi House, and it's we're going to talk about the work you do and how important it is to our community.
For sure. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to do a painting. You've never painted before, have you?
I actually have not.
Well,
good luck.
Good. We can figure this out.
Sure.
Sort out some kind of thing. What we're going to do is we're going to take each of these colors.
Okay.
And I'll show you here. And I'll go ahead first.
Okay.
And all we're going to do is we're going to start, blend it across. Work our way up. The next color.
Okay.
And up to the next color. And once you do the purple color,
yes,
you're going to rinse your brush off a bit and then do the blue.
Okay.
And the very last thing you're going to do, that wasn't so hard, was it?
No. Do you want me to get started?
One sec.
Okay.
So then we're going to just blend them together after we clean our brush, and then we're going to sort of blend the sky into each other.
Okay.
Pretty easy. Can't get any simpler than that.
No, that's for sure. You picked a good one for me. Thank you.
And then just blend them all, and we'll go from there. Tell me a little bit about Hospice Miramichi so people know what that is.
So Hospice Miramichi started in 2011 in Miramichi. And basically when it first started, we had, we were at the Bishop's Palace over at St. Michael's. And at the time, they started off with some, what we would call outreach. So like we had some PSWs who would go into people's houses through extramural, you know, for people that were at end of life and maybe the families were struggling a little bit or needed some extra support in the homes.
Sure.
We also then, they had started up some volunteering. So say if some people don't have the luxury of having a strong family connection or support for whatever reason. So we had a volunteer program that would help like maybe take people to appointments, whether it be here in Miramichi or maybe to an oncology appointment in Moncton. We started with doing that as well. And then we have, and still have, the grief support. So that is a program that we offer twice a year. We partner with Shannix, and we also partner with Nursing Home Without Walls. And those girls allow us to go in and offer grief share at Loge Hall twice a year to offer grief support to those that have lost loved ones and maybe just need that extra bit of support. So on top of that, then there was the day hospice, where people would come to the Bishop's Palace at that time and just to kind of get a break. You know, most of these people are probably having struggles getting out and about. So
add a little water to your brush as you go. It'll make it easier for you.
Oh, thank you. So they would come out and do things with other people a couple of times a week. And yeah, that was how it kind of all started. And then if you remember, how am I doing?
You're doing great.
Okay.
Maybe just take a little bit of white. We're going to blend it over the purple just to tone it down a bit.
Thank you. So then, if you remember, we had opened a hospice shop. And that would have been a little building kind of right behind the parking lot at Royal Bank in Chatham.
Yeah.
And last year we expanded. Thank you. We expanded and we moved into our global textile, global clothing is behind Tim Hortons in Chatham. And so we do that. And then in January of 2024, we opened what was called residential hospice.
Yeah.
So that's our 6-bed unit. And in November, 1st of this year.
So this is people who are at
end of life.
End of life, and they're just to make sure they're comfortable and they can go in a way that's dignified and feels secure. And
yeah. So now we are at 41 Harper Road, So we have a 6-bed unit, palliative end of life, and palliative respite. So say if somebody is towards the end of their life, but maybe are needing, the family maybe have to go away, or they have other needs, and so they can come to us as well and spend some time with us with 24-hour nursing care. So basically, residential hospice is designed for people that might not want to be in hospital, but might not want to die at home either. So it offers kind of a good blend.
Well, I know that these programs are pretty important. Right now, my father's going through some of that stuff. When he first, so he's in his 80s, and he had broken up with somebody after a long term, and all of a sudden he was feeling alone. And me and my brother lived together, and we didn't have room to keep him at where we stay.
Yes.
And we thought, okay, we're going to set up an apartment close to us. He's only a block away, or type of thing. But then we realized he was depressed and sad. And through Logie Hall and these programs, we found we could have somebody come in and a nurse helper, and then we had a dietitian come in. And,
yes.
And his income wasn't that high.
Okay.
But the program, working with that, all sort of made it possible to be able to give him the support he needed. So these programs are amazing for people.
They are. They really are. And it's so Extramural is our partner. We partner with, they recognize patients that are probably at end of life. And so they also, this is coming to Vondi House is one of the options for end of life care, for palliative care. And so we have their support, so they are accessible to us 24/7.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so they kind of come in and go, and there's no charge.
How did you get involved in this kind of stuff?
Oh, wow. So I've been a nurse for a long time and worked in lots of facets of nursing, but I worked with Extramural when the idea of the residential hospice came about. And by taking care of palliative patients in their home, I came to see the need of probably the benefit of people wanting to die in a residential setting and not wanting to go in hospital. So it's a wonderful program. I was approached a few times to take over as the nurse manager, and I decided to do so in November. There's a great group of people that are on the board and work with hospice, and it was something that I wanted to be a part of. I've done lots of palliative care over my years with Extramural, and I just saw, and before residential hospice came, we often thought, oh shoot, if we had that residential hospice, these particular patients that we have in mind would have been great.
And these programs aren't fully government funded. Like there's a lot of volunteer work and a lot of raising funds and things like that.
A ton of work.
That's one of the things. The important part of the show is getting people to understand. So when you go into this, the hospice Miramichi, and you purchase things, it's helping out these programs and the people that are going through it.
That's correct. So all hospices in the province of New Brunswick are not all 100% fully funded by the government. We're only partially funded. So they pay for, say, like the clinical staff.
Right.
Right? So we're still responsible to pay for the house, pay for all the utilities that go along with owning a home, food, and some of the wages. So as you can imagine, that's a lot of money. And so we're always looking for support through fundraising. Our biggest, obviously, fundraiser is the hospice shop.
Of course,
it is such a huge accomplishment, like with our organization. And but in saying that, we also contribute a lot to other community partners through the hospice shop. Like they work with Jeremy's Mission, SPCA, the Women's Transition House. So there's a lot that comes to us, but we give a lot back as well to the community.
That's incredible. And
Yes.
so have you ever had any stories where you let's let that dry for a bit.
Okay.
So one thing, I'm just going to show you one thing here. I want to talk about some stories. So on the edges here,
Yes.
we're just going to sort of soften up these edges.
Okay. Thank you.
See how they sort of blend in together? Just take away the little edges and make it sort of blend, like the sky's all blending up the colors up to each other.
Oh, that's sky. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think it's important to note that we have probably 90 volunteers with hospice. We have a store manager there, and she manages the store, but it takes approximately 12 to 13 volunteers each day to operate the hospice shop,
Oh, wow.
which then
So
in turn helps
you're
us.
always looking for volunteers, people
Always.
to help out?
And, but you know, like a patient that we had, at our first patient that we had at Vondi House on the Harper Road, she was with us at Christmas time. And of course, we knew that it was going to be her last Christmas. So we invited the family, and the staff did a big Christmas dinner and had all the family at the house. And that they were all able to enjoy her last Christmas
Oh, wow.
with her family, and it was really nice. And everybody's
So
so
is the facility
thankful.
set up so that families can come in and do things with the people? in
Oh,
their-
100%.
Okay.
It's just like home, but just with additional supports,
Oh,
24-hour
okay.
care,
So the
an
way it is
LPN and a
designed.
PSW.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so if they want to, we have cuddle beds.
Mm-hmm.
So those cuddle beds, like they expand so that if you want to get in, your loved one, a grandchild or your spouse or whatever, wants to come in and lay down with you, you can. It's a great program.
You're good. You let that dry for a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I really can honestly say only my grandmother, when I lived in Newfoundland, and she was, she had a long-term palliative diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And, I could see how this would have benefited somebody like that. She was a senior living alone, family's working. So that would have been something that would have been great at that point in time for her.
It's a neat story. When I think about it, I haven't had that experience, but years ago, when my grandmother died, which is a crazy story, but it's one of those, I don't know, do you ever feel like you have voices talking to your dreams or that kind of weird stuff? I'm kind of weird that way. I don't know. There's something inside talks to me all the time. One day I was having a dream, and in this dark room down the hallway, and a light at the end, and my grandmother was going down this hallway, and I hadn't seen her in a couple of years. It's a weird kind of dream to have, and I was only 20 at the time. I had been living on the street and just going through a rough thing, and then I woke up all sweating, thinking, that's weird. So at that time, I used to play pool for a living. So I was a hustler, kind of pool shark kind of guy, and I went downtown to this little old billiard hall. We went upstairs, and an uncle was there, and he said, I said, what are you doing here? I hadn't seen him in years, and he's in this pool hall that I practice in and do these things in, and he says, well, your grandmother's dying. So this is after having that dream the night before. So I go up, but so she had Lou Gehrig's. I don't know what the technical name was for that, but she was lying in the bed. She had lost all her, basically was drooling, and all I could, her eyes were there, and I thought, because nobody seemed to know what to do, just get liquids, and they were trying to call in and get help. But if she had a place where you could, be more comfortable and more organized and could have prepared for it better, it'd be great.
Oh, definitely.
But the funny thing is that my aunt, who was sort of taking care of her, she comes in, she sits on the end of the bed, and she says, last night she had this dream, your grandmother, before because she couldn't talk back to me. She could hear me, but I couldn't. I hope she could hear me.
Yeah, she could.
But she said she sat up and she was telling me that she was going down a hallway in the dark to a light, and I thought, that's so weird that I had that same
wow.
dream, and then I meet my uncle in the pool hall, and I thought,
Wow.
there's something weird about that, something
Yep.
that goes through the
Definitely.
air,
Definitely.
so,
Yeah.
but I always thought, I remember living through that moment thinking, I wish we had been in a hospital or somewhere where because everybody seems to not know what to do and,
I know,
and how to
yeah.
handle it, so it was,
Yeah, and that's the great thing with us, like with the partnership with Extramural. When people get an end-of-life diagnosis, the conversation starts fairly early about what might their wishes be as they get to the point that they need extra supports. Because not everybody wants to go into the hospital.
No.
Most people would like to probably stay at home, but Vondi House gives you that extra support, and you can come in anytime, and there's bread being baked or homemade meals being cooked, and
It's that feel, so
yep.
they would feel sort of like you're still in that home sort of atmosphere. That's an amazing thing.
Definitely, yeah, and you're not very long before you get to know what their likes and dislikes are, and you just kind of make things as homey for them as possible.
We're going to dip into this Payne's Gray, it's called. It's a
Okay.
transparent black.
Okay.
And we'll say about just under the yellow here, we'll start making a black floor. We'll call it a black
Okay.
floor. See what this goes and we'll. Yeah, so it's amazing to think that there's places now
Oh, yes.
where we have, people can help you to know, well, should they have water? Shouldn't they? Like, we didn't even know that at the time.
I know.
Did they get water? Did they get food?
Choking
Can they
risk.
take it? Are they going to choke? Or they?
Exactly.
So all of those anxieties that could have been avoided and helped to just make it more of a comfortable sort of
Yeah, definitely.
passing.
And there's no
that's
charge
important.
to stay at Bondi House. It's all provincially, like, there's no charge for the patients that come.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's
Okay.
all covered by the government funding.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah. So we have 6 beds, 4 for people that probably have like an estimated maybe 3 months of life or less to
Right.
live. And then we have the palliative respite. So that could be a little bit longer of a life expectancy, but to go and give the families that break that, some of these people are seniors, so maybe the only support person they have at home is their spouse, who could also have maybe medical conditions that need tending to. So it gives,
Well, we know stories about that from the news lately with the famous actor and his wife.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Some trouble went on
Oh,
there. But
dear. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly like that.
So on that note, so it's not always people who are elder that
No.
Oh,
No,
really?
we can accept any age. We're set up, actually, I don't know if you've seen online, we're having a little campaign now for teddy bears. Fill the crib with teddy bears. Because we
Oh,
are
really?
equipped to have, unfortunately, sometimes pediatrics, children, get sick and have a shorter life expectancy than what we would like. So we're equipped for any age.
Is there workers there that help with the mental state of people that they're dealing with that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Well, because we're affiliated or partnered with Extramural, so we have all that interdisciplinary team. Social workers could come in and kind of help with the families or patients that are
Okay.
going through a hard time. And of course, with the nurses, they are also able to provide that additional support to the patients and families as well.
All right, we'll be right back with McGowan's Canvas Miracles after this. Welcome back to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. And we're creating kind of a miracle here. Lots of
Yeah.
stripes, lots of clouds. We're going to add a little bit of clouds in here now.
Okay.
So we're going to just touch the white up.
Okay.
And we're not painting circles, just a little sort of strip going along the top. Maybe a couple of smaller ones down in here,
Okay.
just to make it look like it's more in the distance.
See, as a left-handed person, I
Yeah.
feel like we do everything a little
Now,
bit more
so
backwards.
you see how you're going like this a lot?
Yep.
Just take your brush, just make a longer stroke,
Okay.
and leave it on the canvas. Don't even take it off the canvas.
Okay.
And try to keep it, now see how you're curving? But try to keep it straight.
Okay.
Think of the horizon as like a straight line.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
more like that, yeah. So just straighten out, pull this cloud out a little bit. Beautiful. Beautiful. Amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing to it.
nah.
That's it.
Nice. Good.
Yeah. So I find this every class I have students, I have 40, 50 students a month that teach art.
Oh.
And the hardest thing I have to do is get them to stop painting. So if I'm going to put a cloud on or something, I just throw a little bit of white on there, slide it out. That's it. It's done. But they'll go,
Yep.
and then
Like I am.
they just paint it away. Oh, before you know it, they've rubbed it out to I don't know what mud or something. But you just throw a few little things on, and we're doing what's called an impressionist painting.
Okay.
So we're just all we want is a little few colors on there, and what happens is the mind will fill in the rest. You don't even have to do any work. You
Yeah.
just got to give them a direction to go, and then people will start to work on that. So there, after we've got a few clouds in, we'll come down here and they get smaller as we move down the horizon. So that's how we tell the distance. So in the far away, it's really tiny, and close up, it's really big. So growing up, when you were a young girl,
Yeah.
we're always talking about the show about, so we don't get volunteers anymore.
Oh,
So did you
yeah.
volunteer at anything when you were younger, and
Oh,
what did
yeah.
it mean to you?
So I grew up in Labrador. So as a young teenager, I candy striped at the hospital. And
Okay.
so from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to help people, and especially the elderly. I just love the elderly. I think they're so sweet. But yeah, so.
This is going to sound silly, but I don't know what a candy striper is.
Oh, a candy striper.
Yeah.
So a candy striper is you'd go in and you would maybe go do your rounds with the little bed lunch for all the patients,
Okay.
and maybe sit and talk with them, you know, if they didn't have company or whatever.
Right.
And so yeah, we would go around and make them their toast and tea for bedtime, and at the local hospital in Labrador. So yeah.
And how old were you when you were doing this
Oh,
kind
I
of
was
thing?
probably a teenager. I would say like probably from the ages of 14 to 17.
Oh, really? So like just 10 years ago?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So I started off doing that as a young girl, like teenager, and then of course moving then to Newfoundland to do nursing school. We always were involved with some kind of volunteering at the nursing homes and stuff like that as part of
Okay.
our training. Am I putting this in here now?
Yeah, just stuff in
Awesome.
the water. So we're going to switch to this brush. We'll both sort of use it. And we're going to take some of this yellow and black. And we're going to just tap it together. And all along here, we're just going to tap this.
Okay.
Go right along.
There's lots of people here in Miramichi that are always looking for ideas or places where to volunteer. And we have, like I said, I think we have upwards to 90 volunteers with the whole organization,
Okay.
including the shop, Bondi House. Grief
Yeah.
Share is, of course, led by volunteers.
So all we're doing is tapping.
Okay.
Now, we're not going in smiley shapes or moon shapes. We
Okay.
want it to go as straight as possible.
Okay.
And the reason for this is we're going to start creating a sort of a grassy kind of knoll. And then you can throw a couple upstrokes if you want here and there.
Okay.
But basically, we're just creating that image that there's some grass there. So go ahead and give that a try.
Thank you.
There's some yellow there. Mostly anywhere you see different yellows on the plate.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah. So sort of take your brush and tie it in together so it doesn't look like too many strokes. So you spread it around here. Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Oh, thank you.
See, look, so you get this nice feel going, and then a couple little grass. I even throw my finger in there. See?
Yeah.
Before you know it, that looks more like a.
You have the vision
kind of
that I
feel.
don't. Okay.
So how did you get into nursing? Was it part of that idea, or?
Probably, I would say, you know, I loved volunteering at the hospital, and I've always been a people person, for anybody that knows me. So what better career than nursing? And, you know, it was fantastic. You knew you'd always have work, no matter where you went in the world.
Definitely somebody needs help always.
Somebody's always looking for help, needing help, yeah.
So you're going to grab your other brush that you started
Okay.
with. You're going to wipe it down, just so we got a nice flat edge to work with.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we're going to take this, just because you had this great idea, made it a little sort of fall sort of picture.
Never did I think I would be an inspiration for painting.
So we'll start, if you
Okay.
turn your brush and you paint lightly,
Yes.
you can start to paint a little line. So we're going to paint a start of a tree.
Okay. Oh, I have too much paint. Okay. It's just like
Yeah,
a.
just put a straight line down. Something to work with. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what does a tree have? Tree has some little branches go off. So the lighter we press, the more we can get some branches coming out of our tree.
Okay.
And if you're having a hard time sort of getting thin lines with that thick brush, just grab one of them small brushes
Okay.
and use that.
Thank you.
And then as we go down, our tree would get thicker as it comes into the ground, so we'll thicken it up. Put a thicker branch, and just sort of start building it up. So say, okay, I'm going to build that up. I'm going to put a little branch off the side. I like this idea of a tree going in it. It's
Thank you.
amazing. I write every day. I go and I watch sunrise, and I write down poetry every day. And
I read yours this morning on Facebook.
Oh, did you?
I did.
So it's one of those things I do. I like to think about thinking all the time.
Yes.
And I think it was Matthew McConaughey in his Green Day book talked about they said, who's your hero? And he said, me. They said, what do you mean? He said, me 5 years from now. He says, I want to be the best version of me I can be then.
I like that.
And then in 5 years, my hero will be me 5 years from then. I thought, oh, that's an interesting concept. So then I started reading about melancholy and why we go through the sadness in life and all these things. And because I had started volunteering because I felt this deep sadness I wanted to get over. And I found being assistants and helping and doing things made a huge impact in my life. So I wanted to inspire more people and help out in ways I could to get people involved and realize how it could change your own life. It isn't about getting volunteers out, it's about changing each of us so that we become the community that we want to live in.
That's right. And I think, with organizations like Hospice, it's in us as human beings to want to help people for the most part. And so people just want to get out there and help and do what they can, but we all have different skills and talents. So, could be down operating the cash register at Hospice or the Hospice shop, or maybe pricing clothes or going through things, or some people love to bake, so they could come into the Vondi house and maybe bake bread or
Isn't that
sweets,
something?
or make a soup or a stew for the patients and their families.
And I don't think people realize that they can do all this stuff.
I know. Yes, so when we had the day hospice, we had a lot of volunteers at that point in time, but we will be using them more as we expand upon that program in the basement of Vondi House.
There's an old, so one of the studies I do is in Japanese. It's called wabi-sabi, not to be mixed up with wasabi, the hot drink that everybody gets.
Exactly.
But so when I was going through sadness, I started reading about this wabi-sabi. I thought, so their idea about the culture, about this melancholy we have as humans and getting over it, is that we should learn to embrace it. And I thought, well, how do you embrace being sad or mellow? And I thought in art, it's great because I can put it towards my work, or poetry, I can put it into something and write something and feel inspired by what I wrote, even though it's dark or it's sad or whatever.
We'll all have sadness in our lives.
So they have an art form, a Japanese art form, this wabi-sabi. So if they break something, say you drop a jar in your house or a glass, they'll take all those broken, they collect them in a box. And then over the years or over the months, whatever, they'll collect up these broken things in their life, and they have to design a piece of art. So when you go into their house and some of the most beautiful artwork you see, you don't realize it had to be made from broken pieces in their life. And the object is to learn about when your life's broken, how can I take the pieces that are broken and turn it into make my life a piece of art.
Oh, that's really nice.
So
I like that.
I thought, what an incredible way to get people inspired and think. And so that's the idea behind this show and the radio show and the things you do.
I like that.
Is that we can volunteer for these things and help out and start rebuilding our own self so that we all become this mosaic of art and a beautiful, like Vondi House, you got the people there that are taking care of their loved ones, they've got a special moment. You got people who are volunteering, they're getting to embrace the things that make them feel better about life. You got the people working there, like the whole. It's a piece of art in itself when you think about it.
Like we have different ladies groups in Miramichi, and they'll probably, like anybody that comes in as a patient at Vondi House, like they all get a gift.
Right.
Well, these ladies at different church groups in the city make these shawls for everybody that comes. But we always have, at least daily, people calling to ask what is it they can do to help. So like our teddy bear drive, people are just bringing teddy bears because they see that that's something that can be used. So whether it's for, a child that's a family member, say, of a patient, maybe we'd give them a teddy bear just for comforting when they come somewhere that we perceive is going to be sad, that it's end of life and sad. So, but everybody wants to help somehow. So I think it's a great initiative, what we're doing. And incorporating staff and volunteers all at the same time.
Wow. Yeah. It's an incredible thing. I've run into some people that have been in some of these centers and the things they're doing, talking about their family and the support and the way they feel about the people that work there and that volunteer there. Just it's heartwarming.
Yeah.
It's an
So I
incredible
think
thing.
sometimes that we don't understand maybe like the difference that we make in people's lives in situations like that. So
And our own life, right?
this is true.
You know,
Because
that's,
we've all lost somebody, whether it was maybe a long-term disease or something happened suddenly. So we all just want to help people, and by volunteering with Vondi House or the Hospice shop, or it's a great way to reach out and
also make you aware too of how to take care of the people in your own life and how important it is to you, that we take it for granted, like everybody's going to be here forever, and
we do that, don't we?
And it's a hard
It is.
hard case when all of a sudden it's gone, that thing you thought, oh, I meant to do this, meant to do that. So I'm always trying to inspire people, don't think about doing it, you got to get out and do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Live each day as if it were your last.
I used to spend a lot of time, you know, trying to make the new car, the new house, the new, all these things.
Yeah.
And then my house burnt down.
Oh, wow.
Whole bunch of things happened anyway that changed sort of my perspective and things on life. And I realized that I wasn't paying attention to the important things in life. So each day, the reason I go to sunrise and I write these things and is to get my mind saying, okay, pay attention today. You know,
Oh, I love that.
you can't change unless you're paying attention. You know, our thoughts.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about?
Yep.
If we're thinking about, oh, how am I going to pay the mortgage next week? I didn't like what my boss said. If I didn't like, I think it's Marcus Aurelius said, when you're on your deathbed many years from now, you know, and you're looking back that day to this, you know, are you going to say that was an amazing day, or are you going to say I wanted to change that day?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so am I having amazing days, or am I having those days
Yeah.
that are just doing the stuff that's irrelevant? We're all going to die.
We are.
We're not.
We
We can't
are.
take
I
any of it
know.
with us. And
We oftentimes don't want to talk about that, or
no, we're on
maybe.
this material goal
Yeah.
of like, but why? Instead, it should be a journey towards
Yeah.
memories and
I know.
incredible
It's
things.
so true. I had lost some family members a long time ago, like 15 years ago. So I always vow that I'll never forget the value of each day. And probably that's too another reason why I chose to join the hospice team. You know, just to kind of give some value to end of life care.
You've lost people in your life,
I
obviously,
have.
right? And
I did.
And getting over that, how did you find the best way for you to get over those things in life? You never really get over it, but I mean to
Never.
get through it and get to the place of
Never. You never
Like-
get over it. You know, everyone will tell you, you know, they use that word, just give it time. And I say it's a concept that's real, but you never want to hear that when you're going through it. But funny enough, I had participated in a grief share group at the time. Myself and my mother went, and it was a great help, you know, just to have that camaraderie with other people that have been through what you were going through, and to make you know that you're not going crazy or what you're feeling is normal. It was a great support. So like I said, we offer that twice a year, and of course, taking time for yourself and some self-help and doing healthy habits and stuff like that is also important when you're going through grief.
But we're going to be right back with some more great painting and great stories with McGowan's Canvas Miracles. Welcome back to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. I hope you didn't miss us while we were gone. We were having a whole bunch of fun talking about this picture we sort of invented out of the blue here, and it's been kind of a fun approach, right? She said, "Oh, can I add a little white in there?" I accidentally had some white on my brush, but it kind of looked nice, so I left it in there. And then what we're going to do now is she's saying, "Well, my tree is a little fat," so I'm going to show you that. So we'll take some of this Payne's Gray. I'll do
Okay.
it first here. And I'm just going to go around and I'm going to tap some leaves into the tree. So anywhere I got a fat branch, I sort of hide it up.
Okay.
And I don't go crazy. I just add a little bit because I can go back and add more, but I can't take it away once I've added it.
True
So
enough.
I try to,
Oh, I see it now coming together.
yeah, keep it a little bit light at the edges. As I get in closer to the tree, I might make it a little thicker. And all of a sudden, we get this
I think I'm going to want to
tree.
join a painting class.
I think you should.
I think
They're
so,
great
too.
fun, and it's not quick like this, but we do it over a period of time, and it's amazing that we have students selling their paintings now. They're doing so well.
Oh,
So
wow.
I thought, yeah, that's kind of a
Look at that.
testimony. Then all of a sudden, we throw a bit of branches in the middle. And I'll
Nice.
let you go ahead now. I'm going to put a little more black on the plate here.
Thank you.
And this black is called Payne's Gray.
Okay.
So every time I go in the store to buy this at the different centers that sell artworks, it's almost impossible to get. Every artist loves to use this Payne's Gray. We actually named our art group the Payne's Gray Impressionist after the paint because it's so rare to get.
Oh, wow.
So that was how that name came about.
I like this.
Isn't it fun?
Yes. I didn't think I had
Didn't
too
think
much
you had it in you, did you?
artistic ability. Well, I probably don't, but
You do. Everybody does. That's the secret to life. Is I've
You have
said this
hidden
many
talents.
times, but Vincent van Gogh, he said that if a voice inside you says you can't paint, he says what you do is you go out and paint, and that voice will go away. You just
I
keep
like
doing
that.
it until it goes away.
yeah.
And, I have some people in my class, they'll take a painting class and they'll get it right away, and other people take 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, now I get it. Just sort
Oh.
of, there's like a learning curve that just hits people at different approaches. And
Yes.
even myself, even in teaching, I was teaching glazing the other day. I was trying to, my students are always trying to mix paints and cover everything up in the first row. They're like trying to make the perfect cloud.
Yeah.
And I always would say, put the brush down just the light, and then put another layer and another layer. And painting is about building layers. And
Oh, yes.
they never quite seem to get it. So finally, we did this 2-hour class, you're painting clouds. I said, okay, you took 2 hours to do this. I'm going to show you. This takes 10 seconds. So I put the cloud up, and I said, you just glaze over the top. And if you make it light enough, you can see the cloud underneath it.
Yes.
And they're like, you're supposed to see the one underneath?
Oh,
And I
my
was like, yeah.
gosh.
So then just changing the term to glazing, and so they understood a little different. All of a sudden, they all were like, oh, and they started doing it, and it changed the whole concept. So we're always learning. Doesn't
We
matter
sure
if you're
are.
the teacher, the student.
We sure are.
We should pay attention. Like, I think it's what they say, if we got 2 ears, it means we should listen twice as much as we talk.
Yeah. Gosh.
And maybe, and if we're talking, we're not learning anything. When we're quiet, all of a sudden I'm pulling it in and I'm grasping things. So
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, and anybody can learn.
You know what? I'm
liking
happy
it?
with the tree.
Oh,
I never
awesome.
thought I could draw a leaf, but I like this
Yeah.
concept.
See, no,
Yeah, it's awesome.
nothing hard about this at all. So now we're going to take a little bit of green. So think of it like maybe there's some. I'm always trying to put less paint. So there's a little bit of light coming in this side. So I'm going to tap some of that green just onto one side of the tree, just a few little edges.
Oh.
And the reason for that is to say the light's just hitting certain spots. Because the light wouldn't hit the whole tree. If I cover everything, it would look weird. But if I just tap a few spots here and there, all of a sudden the tree lights up. It looks like, oh. And if we're going to do that, another secret, we can go and say, okay, same light's hitting there. Maybe it's hitting the grass in a few spots.
Oh,
So
yes.
we'll put some of that light down in the grass.
Nice. I like it. Thank you.
So if people want to volunteer,
Yes.
where would they go?
They could call me
Okay.
at the Bondi House.
Okay.
We have a volunteer program that people can volunteer. They can volunteer at the shop, and they would contact Mary Mott.
Okay.
She's down at the Hospice shop behind Tim Hortons. It used to be the Global store. They can volunteer there. We have 2 ladies that do the grief share volunteering, so I don't know if they'd ever be open to having volunteers as well. So those are probably 3 good places to start.
And do you guys have draws, things like that?
Oh yeah, so we do lots of fundraising. So some of the initiatives that we do for fundraising, people, like we have the hospice auctions. So, you know, we have a lot of retired nurses and other people that will just organize them. And that takes an incredible amount of volunteer hours and manpower to make sure that those are all very successful.
Okay.
Like we just finished a big auction on Facebook. So if you were on the Hospice Shop or Hospice Miramichi or Vondi House Facebook sites, you would see where there's auctions going on. So people help like organize them, make the items ready for the auctions, and plus then kind of organizing the bidding and stuff that happens on Facebook. Then we have the Diva dinner coming up in September. That
Oh,
will
that's for
also-
me, Diva Dimmer. That's definitely.
That's right, yeah. So anyway, so we have people that help volunteer organize those events.
Yeah.
Then we have the Hike for Hospice, that's coming up. We always have lots of volunteer and fundraising initiatives.
And they can find us on your website and different things like
Websites,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, for Facebook, we have the three, the shop, Vondi House, and Hospice Miramichi
Right.
as a whole.
Okay.
And the same with our websites. They're all on, you can find us all online. There's lots of ways to find us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put some of that information on the screen too as well.
Oh, perfect. Thank
And
you.
yeah, when you guys have your next fundraiser, let me know. I'll donate some classes or something, and we can.
Oh.
It's always good. I like to
Yes.
help out as much as we can.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
And,
that would go over very well.
Yeah. So, what are you thinking of your painting? You think you might get into this art? Look, you
Well,
got some hidden talent over there. I think.
I'm telling you, I like it. Should I smudge?
It's kind of relaxing, isn't it? Everybody
yeah,
comes
I
in, it's
really
like,
like it.
Rob, why can the classes be longer?
Yeah.
Like, I only have so many hours in a day.
I know.
But I
God
sure love
you.
it.
Yeah. No, this is great. The staff said I'd have to hang this at the house. Not sure where, but anyway, we'll find it. I don't know. What do you think that looks like?
I think it looks great. So
Yeah.
one thing we're going to do, so we always like to push back stuff into the distance.
Okay.
So the way that we do that is we're going to take a little bit of black here. And take your stiff brush here. And let's make some dark, oh, need some more paint on there, I guess. Dark stuff right at the forefront.
Okay.
So make it really dark and tall here so that starts to look like it's back there.
Okay. Wow.
So just little tricks, little things, all of a sudden. So I'm not trying to cover everything because I want to see through and see some of the stuff
Definitely.
underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so go around
Thank
and
you.
put some grass in the foreground. Darken her right up. Yeah, and here, let me get you some more paint just so you feel like you're actually getting some on the canvas.
Thank you.
Oh, I dropped a little blob on there, but that's all right.
Oh dear.
Oh,
I
perfect.
bet you can cover that up though.
Oh yeah, masterpiece. But when you just, having fun, you can create anything
Exactly.
with just a few drops of paint and a couple brushes and just enjoy yourself.
I
not
think
hard
this
at
is
all.
awesome. Be a good team building exercise.
Yeah, I do a lot of programs with Eel Ground and different places I
Oh,
come
yeah.
in, and it's therapeutic, and they come in and we do art programs, and they paint a
Mm-hmm.
picture and realize, oh, there is something I can do. Because once you have just a little bit of a technique and start to realize there's more to it, you don't have to be a genius inside. You just have to have
Well, I
a
will
little
tell you,
bit of help here and there.
I was nervous about what this was going to turn out like.
All right.
An artist I'm
so
not.
again, the biggest secret is not to overpaint. See how you keep going over? So each time you hit it,
Yeah.
you fill paint in between the grass, and then
Okay.
it looks more blobby, so you don't get
Yeah.
that same effect.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to teach you, see if we can get down to the, let's do some flowers here. Let's
Oh.
take some white, like a baby's breath.
Mm.
Tap this a bit. We're just going to tap it lightly,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
and a few spots here and there. We're going to put a little bit of baby's breath in the foreground. How's that?
Nice.
Just something just to say there's something there, a suggestion.
Mm. It comes right out off the canvas.
Yeah. Just pick a spot. Lovely. Sure. Now we can take,
Oh, pink.
I feel like pink flowers. Yeah, why not? Let's go with some pink flowers. Try throwing some bright, do the same thing, pick a spot.
Okay,
And,
with this brush?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
why not? Give it a little bit of whitish pink. And find a spot and put a little bit of pink flowers in it.
Oh, yikes.
Beautiful. I like it.
Thank you.
Now see, because you have the white in it, you get a mixture.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Now don't go crazy.
Your turn.
You kind of, that's the secret is we don't want to put our brush down. So I'm just going to put them, I'm going to say just right here. I don't like this particular grass there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to put
Cover it up.
a little bit of pink in this one corner here. I'm going to say I'm not even going to put pink anywhere else, just in this
Okay.
one corner. So I got some little flower bush over there.
Thank you.
And if you want to keep, so you want to keep the picture consistent,
Yes?
you can do something like put barely just a little bit in the distance
Oh,
of the
yeah.
same kind of color. Not a lot, just a bit to suggest that it goes through the field everywhere.
Can I do it
In
down
your
here?
case, you're kind of up front, so
I
you don't
know.
really have to worry about it. But you can put some more bigger ones down at the front.
Okay.
Go crazy. Take a big chunk of pink and put a huge pink flower there. Just go to town. There. Fun.
Yeah, nice.
I like it.
I do too. You know, for my first time.
We could have made it a cherry blossom tree and put some little white
Oh,
and pink all
yeah.
through. That would have been kind of
That
fun.
would have been very nice. Or the apple trees that are going to be in bloom soon. Yeah, I like it.
And then that's all a matter of details. You can take a small brush and you can say, okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white cloud down in here. Or I want to vary my pink up, so I'm going to go where the pink was and I'm going to add a little bit of a pink cloud in there.
Oh, that's pretty.
Just to brighten it up, give it a little bit more color.
Okay, let's see. Should I do like a white here or the more pink?
Where you want to do
Like
it?
around here?
I'd put some white and pink together. Maybe mix them together.
Okay.
She's having fun now.
Oh, yeah.
It's addicting,
Well,
isn't it?
you know what? It's a little bit something to do outside of the office.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's just to make sure. I just want to make sure people can volunteer. Let's go through the contact information again as we put up a graphic up while we're talking.
Yeah,
about it.
so they can reach out to us on any of the Facebook sites
Okay.
that we have. And myself or Mary or maybe somebody from the board of directors,
Okay.
they would certainly respond and kind of see where people's interests are
Sure.
in order to, you know,
Like-
what they would like to do with volunteering. Not everybody necessarily wants to come in and deal with death and dying, but there's lots that is behind the scenes that helps
Sure.
a nonprofit like this kind of be successful.
And do people make donations? Are they able to donate and stuff as well?
Definitely.
Okay.
We have lots of people say, people that maybe were living with their parents and the parents passed away, like, so they want to maybe donate some of the medical supplies or personal hygiene supplies, furniture, and that gets donated to us. And if not, the hospice shop always takes that. If you haven't been there, it's almost like a department store. The way they have it all separated, you know, they have ladies' clothes, men's, children's, seasonal, furniture, jewelry, books. And it's all like laid out in different sections of the store. It's an awesome place to go and
Oh, that's
very
awesome.
busy.
And could they
Very
go in
busy.
there to volunteer or give a paper
Yes.
or something? Or- Okay.
Very much
Perfect.
so.
That
Yep.
would be awesome.
Yeah. You know, they'd have to have the criminal record check
Yeah,
and
oh,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. You know, the normal things that go along with having to volunteer, but it's very
Hold
rewarding.
this up for a sec, just let people sort of have an idea of what you got going on. You see what you create in just a couple of minutes, just having some fun, enjoying it. So it's kind of a fun way to
I think the leaves were my favorite part.
spend an afternoon, and
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
you can get crazy. You can start saying, "I'm going to mix a little white in with my green, so I can have different shades of green.
Oh,
I
yes.
can have a little bit of just on the top. See, just a little bit more light in a few sections.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Just all of a
Thank
sudden
you.
you got the variance of tones. So painting is all about value. Light, dark, medium. And the more values you can put in, more things that the eye has to wander around, the more interesting the painting is, as opposed to just a blob of green sitting there.
Oh, I like that. Very nice.
It's like every student, the hard thing is to put the brush down. If I could,
I get it.
I almost need a timer. I'm thinking I'm going to get little timers for the desk when they're painting that you got a minute. Bzz, and then ding, brush has to stop. Whatever you can do in that minute kind of thing.
Funny how it all comes together, though. Like,
oh, yeah. You never expected that, but
no, I didn't.
you sort of let it appear to you.
Yeah.
Michelangelo always says, the painting's there, our job's just move the rubble out of the way.
Yes, that's right. Very nice. I like it.
Well, I really want to talk about, we enjoyed the show today, and doing a painting and sort of building up layers and life, and talking about all the, the hospice and Bondi House, and my friend Peggy, who was actually the one who called me and told me about you guys, and we had talked before online, I think, over the years. You had reminded me, and I went back and looked, and I was like, oh yeah. And it's amazing how the community is so interconnected. New Brunswick is an amazing place of volunteers here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'd like to see more youth coming out. The younger generation sort of starting to kick in.
Yeah, no, we have the volunteers at the hospice shop. There's probably a lot more youth down there, college kids.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep,
That's
they certainly volunteer down there. Some children that are homeschooled.
Right.
The parent will bring themselves and their children as part of the homeschooling experience
Program.
with the
Wow.
community
That's
piece.
incredible.
Yeah.
So do they ever tell you about how they feel about it, or they're enjoying it, or?
They love it. It's a way to get out and be social, to kind of network with people.
Get to know people.
Getting to know people, and they sign up to volunteer maybe 1 or 2 days of the week, and then before you know it, they're there every day.
The main thing I want to get across to people is that you go out in your community and volunteer.
Definitely.
And you'll change that feeling you have inside. Like it helps you to really understand the world and the way it is. The best story, I've told this before on here, but Nelson Mandela was a civil rights sort of fighter in his country, and he used to, he had bitterness and hatred. And that got him in jail, and when he was in jail, he realized that his enemies, he didn't even know why they were his enemies. He started asking about their children, and the more we learn about each other and our cultures and the way we're brought up and the things, and we understand it, we come to realize we're not so different.
No,
we're
we're
all
not.
pretty much in common.
No, that's for sure.
He's seen a poem, I think it was C.F. Caffrey or somebody wrote that, when out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Out of the foul clench of circumstance, I've not winced or cried aloud. I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul.
Thank
you for coming in and
thank you for having me.
enjoying an afternoon with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.